Hey guys, welcome to another week of a WoW Weekly with Myst. And for this week, we have pet battles and the PvP brawl Deep 6. That is literally all that's going on this week. So pretty easy week. As for goals and accomplishments, I made a goal to level this past week. It did not get done. To be perfectly honest, a good portion of this week was spent in Animal Crossing. So yeah, I more or less kind of played it pretty casual this past week. So nothing real major got done. So I'm not going to make a goal for this upcoming week either because I'm not totally sure what I want to do in WoW this week. So the first bit of news I have for you guys is some new toys that are being added to the world events. It is due time. It's been a while since we've had anything new for the events. So starting with Midsummer. We are going to have 3 new toys for Midsummer. Fire Festival Baton. And this just adds some spark to your dance moves, as you can see in the description. And it will cost you 50 Midsummer currency. Then we also have the Insulated Dancing Insoles. And it's going to cost you 100 Burning Blossoms. And then the final new one we have is called Summer Cranial Skillet. And this one has you kneel down and you allow others to cook over you. Sounds interesting. Sounds like you might be on fire or something. And this one is the pricier one, and it's going to cost you 150 Burning Blossoms. So that should keep you busy for the next Midsummer. That is a total of 300 Burning Blossoms you would need. Then the next event we have for new toys is Noble Gardens. So we have 2 new toys for that one. One is the Eager Basket. Increases your speed by 60% for 10 seconds. So this one is a reward from a quest. So a Tisket, a Tasket, a Noble Garden Basket. That is how you're going to get the Eager Basket. So really easy, don't even need currency or anything, you just do the quest. And then the second one is the Spring Florist's Pouch. And this is just to plant a flower. And this one only costs 50 chocolates, which is gonna be super easy to get. The next event would be for Wintervale, and that is the chorus book. So you sing a festive song, and of course only functions during Wintervale. I love this. I love Christmas, for one. Christmas is my favorite holiday, and I love like singing Christmas carols. So this one is from the Stolen Presents. And then the last event we have is Love is in the Air. These aren't technically toys, they're more cosmetics, but still worth mentioning. So the first one is the pouch of Evan Rose Petals, and then there's the pouch of Red Rose Petals. Now, as for how you get them, that info is not available yet for Love is in the Air. And yeah, but I imagine probably the Love is in the Air tokens, or it could just be straight cash. While this does seem to be associated with Love is in the Air, it's nothing super fantastic, like nothing to jump up for joy about. So I don't know, it might be something you just loot or... Yeah, I can't imagine the method to getting those would be very tough. And the next piece of news has to do with the removal of a daily lockout. Your Anima Conductor is going to be getting some quality life upgrades. Players will be able to channel their Anima Conductor to all unlocked locations each day instead of only one. As of right now, you can channel one location every day, and eventually you'll have a lot of channeled locations where you can do multiple dailies for your grateful offerings. But when 9.1.5 comes out, you'll be able to just always do all locations every day. So that is gonna severely up the speed of your grateful offerings. But yeah, this is a currency that's easy to farm anyway. You know, doing some dailies every day is pretty simple. You know, killing some bosses. You know, I always found grateful offerings to be the best farmed thing in Shadowlands out of all of them. You know, now Anima is pretty good. You know, they've definitely upped the Anima. But prior to any quality of life upgrades, grateful offerings were always the better farmed item. I had like 100 of them before I even realized what I was gonna do with them, you know, like, yeah. They were just so easy, especially in the beginning when you're killing everything, right? You're killing everything, you're working on your conductor, and yeah, just really easy. But now they'll be even easier, and you do need them for a lot of different things. However, you will finish your farm on grateful offerings way sooner than you would Anima. Even with the increase of Anima, you still need lots of it for cosmetics. And as you can see in there, it says enhancement buffs now persist past daily reset and work as a buff within all non-instant zones and Shadowlands. Players who have built and upgraded their Covenant's Anima conductors will now receive grateful offerings from all Covenant callings. That is a nice one. I do like that change. And Anima can now be channeled to all unlocked locations each day, and then in brackets was one each day. And the final piece of news I have for retail WoW is we have a bunch of jokes and flirts that have been removed. This one was really unfortunate to see. Some of them were super funny, and there's just so many of them. It took a while to read through the list of these because it looks as if they removed absolutely every flirt and joke off of the players. So the one that was really unfortunate, and I've never felt it was really that bad, but my favorite is the undead males. They say once you go dead, you never go back. I always laughed at that one. Aside from that, like, do I pay attention to them much? No. But it's still unfortunate. They're taking all the humor out of the game. And honestly, I'll be surprised if there's a heavy population playing next expansion. We've already lost so many people, and they have no reason to come back. I, for one, have gone from being pretty hardcore WoW player for many, many years to casual since I'd say it started in BFA, because I almost did quit the game in BFA, and from that time that I almost quit to now, all I really did was continue playing, but on a more casual level. And I think that's how it's gonna be for a while. Don't get me wrong, they've got some cool upcoming changes, but they are not changes that make me jump for joy or anything. Anything that I'm hyped for right now is due to something being either quality of change or something that's existed in the game before and they're just bringing it back, right? There's not really any new content that I'm excited about. So I see myself being casual next expansion too. I know for one, I'll never quit. They'd have to kill the servers for me to quit, but I do believe with all these changes and especially all these removal of things that I've had no problem with in the past, it definitely makes me become a more casual player. I liked most expansions, you know, but BFA's where I started disliking the game. You know, I even liked WoD. I was not a hater of the WoD expansion. If anything, WoD ignited my increase of mount farming, because when we entered that final patch that lasted forever, that gave me time to mount farm. And that really put a huge dent in my collection that I have now, up until BFA and Shadowlands, of course. It was my most progressed mount farming. And it's because I had time, you know. That's why I don't hate on expansions for having long stretches of content, because it gives me time to work on my collection. But when it's a whole expansion of just bad content, that's where I have a problem. You know, and that's what BFA and Shadowlands has been for me. And yeah, with WoD, I liked WoD, honestly. Just, we were stuck in that patch for a while, and I just went and mount farmed, you know? And I would say the same thing with Shadowlands. We have been stuck in a patch for a long time, but the thing is, I never thought Shadowlands was good. You know, I literally just kept playing because they kept bringing out mounts, you know? And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to me in that. I feel like a lot of us that still play, we play because they keep bringing out mounts. And unfortunately, that makes us all suckers. But, you know, you like what you like, right? And everyone has their own reason to play the game, and, you know, I just imagine that is majority of people's reasons. You know, collection stuff, you know, achievements, mounts, pets. Because it certainly can't be for content, because it seems to be that we either have zero content, boring content, or recycled content. It's very few times where it's new and exciting. Lately, anyway. Honestly, I feel bad for the non-collectors of the game, because if you're a non-collector, you quit playing this game a long time ago, because that's really what this game is now. If you don't like collecting mounts or pets or achievements, then this game's been dead for years to you. Yeah. And it's unfortunate. I hate that we're in a time frame where we don't play for content anymore, really. You know, like, in a sense, new mounts is content, but is it really? It's just a mount, you know. Like, it has no take on story or, you know, your path of your character or any of that stuff. So that concludes the retail WoW news, but we do have some classic WoW news, so let's get to that. So for the classic WoW news, I'm just going to screenshot this here, and this is already in effect. This went into effect on October 5th. If you're playing classic, or maybe you haven't hopped in and you will be in a bit, there is something called Adventure Awaits. It's this buff, you know, Season of Mastery is the bonus event name. And basically what it does is it increases your quest experience by 25%. I did some digging to see, you know, what the level cap on this is, because it seemed like a pretty big increase there. 25% is very good. And I found out that this will apply to level 1 to 59. So yeah, it will not involve the BC content of Classic WoW. And I know that probably would have been a concern. People leveling fast in current, you know, expansion of Classic WoW. So this does just apply to 1 to 59. And of course, feel free to pause the screen to read through everything else. There is a lot of stuff involved in this, which is why I chose to just screenshot this while I gave you, you know, pretty much what most people care about, the experience gain, right? But there is, as you can see, different aspects as well. I like this, however, the characters that I do play when I do actually log in Classic WoW, because it's hard to juggle both, but when I do, they're all 60 plus. You know, they're sitting in the BC expansion, so this wouldn't apply to me anyway. But if I ever decide to make a new character, then at least there's that. And there is one particular hotfix worth mentioning for Classic WoW, and that is the Hunter fix. So feeding your pets Sporling Snack and Kibler's Bit will no longer generate threat, so cool change. That would have been annoying if I'd been playing Classic WoW. So there's that, you hunters. Pretty much everyone I know that plays Classic WoW does actually play a hunter. So might be info that someone watching this video is interested in. I'm glad it was a little more of a mellow week this week, honestly, because today is Thanksgiving for us Canadians. So if you are Canadian, happy Thanksgiving. And if you aren't, I will be wishing you a Thanksgiving in like a month. Or whenever you guys have it. I think it's November. Yeah, in a month. So yeah, I always do like 2 Thanksgivings every year because I'm Canadian, so I have my Thanksgiving in October. And then my boyfriend, who's American, has his, a month later. So then I end up having 2 Thanksgivings. So yeah. But anyway, happy Thanksgiving if you are a fellow Canadian. And if not, I just hope you're, having a great weekend anyway. And yeah, so that's what I'm busy doing while I'm doing this video. I'm, currently cooking up some Thanksgiving food. And I'm always the cook for it. So yeah, I love doing big meals. I'm Italian. It was what I was made for, right? Italians love to cook, and yeah, I definitely fall into that stereotype. And then one more thing I'd like to add before we end this video is that I have decided to return to Twitch. I've decided to do streams on Tuesday and Wednesday, so that will, of course, be a non-video day on the YouTube channel. So the YouTube channel is going to have 5 videos per week now, and Twitch will have 2 streams per week. YouTube is still my main focus, guys, so don't worry. This is not going to affect the channel too much. And that basically calls it on today's WoW Weekly. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're having a great weekend. Thanks everyone for watching. An extra big thanks to the members of the channel. And we will see you in the next video. Bye guys.